We're headed to the
Süleymaniye Mosque.
Alright, how's it going, everybody? We're headed to the
Süleymaniye Mosque.
Yeah, what he said. So this is
Hey everyone.
This is Newman, and I met Newman at the Blue Mosque, a different mosque, and he was so educated in talking about Islam and stuff like that that I decided to do a video with him, and he's going to show me this very famous mosque.
Süleymaniye Mosque.
Süleymaniye. Okay, what he said.
You will repeat after me, okay?
It's so hard for me.
Su,
Lei,
ma,
Ni.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now repeat faster.
Süleymaniye.
Correct.
Süleymaniye. Now I'll forget it in 10 minutes. What? That's me.
So in Ottoman, they mostly built mosque as complex. So it is not only mosque, but there are different buildings such as Turkish baths, schools, libraries, and also jami means something that collects people. Also, this place is considered as a center in that age.
Okay.
So it is not always a place for religious stuff. It is also a place for just having fun. And also, for example, with my family, I come here and just having fun. Also, right now we are next to tomb of Suleiman the Magnificent, one of the most powerful sultans in Ottoman history. He was buried here, and that's his tomb with his famous wife, Sultan Hurrem.
Now this mosque was built to represent him.
In Ottoman, there was a tradition, and it was like that. When you conquer somewhere big, you built a mosque in that area. But Suleiman made something different. Okay. He conquered somewhere, but he wanted to make the great mosque in Istanbul to show his people how powerful he is. Therefore, he didn't ask the architecture Sinan to save any money. Actually, therefore, they also brought columns from Egypt, just to show their people that we can do that. And also, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not authority, but you can see competition between Hagia Sophia in every mosque of Ottoman. Because the stones of Hagia Sophia were taken from Egypt too. I think this is not coincidence. This is like competition. We can do that too.
I see.
That was the idea, in my opinion.
For everyone that knows, Hagia Sophia was an old church, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it became, during the Ottoman rule, it was given by the Romans to the Ottomans?
It was actually taken.
Or sold? Was it sold or no?
No, it was taken by conquer.
Okay. So someone online told me, no, it was sold, it wasn't taken.
No, it was taken by Fatih, which means conqueror.
Okay. That's what I assumed, because if you take a place, usually. So then it was a museum for a while, and now it's a mosque. It's converted to a mosque.
Yeah. During Ottoman, they converted it into a mosque. Atatürk founded Republic of Turkey. It founded it as a secular country.
Okay.
So they again converted into not church but museum to make it open to any cultures.
I see.
But right now it is again converted into mosque.
This mosque here, the architect's name is
Architect Sinan,
who is like the grand royal architect, the most famous
the most famous architect in Ottoman history by far.
He was known as the Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Comparable to Michelangelo.
Actually, he was born as Christian.
Really?
Yeah. East Europe, as far as I know. Balkans, yeah. But there was a system in Ottoman to take Christian children and converting them into Muslim and use them in different jobs, such as using military and also governments. Governors were actually born Christians and also not Turk.
How interesting.
Yeah. just to
Okay.
prevent family fights.
I see. I see. Like in America, we have Thanksgiving. That's when all the family fights. So maybe that's why. I was reading that this mosque was built in 1550.
Yeah,
Something like that?
16th century.
16th century. Okay. So like 1550, then maybe 1557, somewhere around there.
Do you have a guess how many years
Oh.
did it take to build this huge complex? Not only mosque, all of the complex. Do you have a guess? In that age, in that century.
Man, I don't know. 100 years or something. 50 years.
Maybe, but it took 7 years to
Oh.
complete all of the complex.
So everyone was working on it. So many people.
Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone. It's a way of cleaning. If you haven't practiced that, you are not allowed to pray. Your salah, I mean, your praying won't be accepted.
Ah, really?
Yeah, it is not good deed. It is something bad. It is haram.
Haram.
So you must clean first your hands, foot, and your hair. Then you are able to pray. So,
So-
let's open it.
So when you come here to pray, you usually come here?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because so you go say, and also it is not always used for ablution. If you are a foreigner or tourist, it is allowed to use that. I mean, there is no something wrong with it.
Because people also drink from it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is not
The best, but
tasteful.
interesting.
Another criteria, the water that you wash your hands must be clean too.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, as I said before to you, it's not the optimum weather
Yeah.
compared to last 7 days.
I know.
If it was better weather, you will see many families on the ground, I mean on the grass, playing football maybe. I mean, it's not haram.
Now you like to pray here. You told me we met at the Blue Mosque I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, and you said this is somewhere I have to go, and you like to pray here.
Maybe you can't, or viewers won't believe me, but I've seen many Christians come here just to feel just to experience the feelings inside of the mosque,
Yeah,
and they were Christians.
yeah. I believe it because even you go to these special places, you feel something. You feel like
Yeah.
peace or spirituality.
But particularly, I mean, significantly, in this mosque, Mimar Sinan aimed to make this place bright. So we will see many windows inside of the mosque just to make more brighter inside of the mosque. But in Hagia Sophia, when you go inside, when you enter inside, you feel stress. I mean, it's my opinion.
Okay.
But when you enter this mosque, I feel very good.
Okay. Should we enter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go in. So I can start with the four elements because they will be useful in my opinion because they will see these elements in every mosque.
Okay.
So the first one is called as mihrab, and it is that place where Imam stands. You will record it later if you wish.
Or we could do this maybe.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Right now, Imam is reciting Quran in this niche place, and when they pray 5 times in a day, Imam stands up and lead the prayer in that place, in that niche place. But in Islam, it's not something hard to be Imam. not in big mosques, but you can be imam, I can be imam. It is not something that requires so many things. If you know how to read Quran and if you memorize some chapters from Quran, you are able to lead the praying. It is, as far as I know, it is different in Christianity. They have statue if you are clergyman. But in Islam, it is not something to be too proud. So everyone can be imam.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal, yeah, completely not a big deal.
And also that is Mecca.
Yeah, the direction goes to Saudi Arabia, Mecca. Maybe you know the black cube. It is called as Mecca. 5 times in a day, Muslim, when they pray, they turn their faces into Mecca. Let's continue with the second element. That's something like tower. I don't know if you see that, but it is used in Friday prayings and also prayings of fast. It is really rare, but in Friday prayings, Imam goes there and preaches people what is good, what is not, do this or don't do this. It was used for preaching.
Okay, and then do they also talk about current events, like what's going on?
Yeah,
in the world,
exactly,
the
exactly.
country?
They even talk about coronavirus situation, what to do, and normally we pray shoulder by shoulder, but during corona situation we created some space between us. Normally it is an obligation to pray shoulder by shoulder to represent the brotherhood between Muslims. As I said before, Jami is considered as a point to collect people. So it is so important in Islam. If you don't have a mosque in a place, it is not actually considered as Muslim town. It is so important for Muslim people to sustain brotherhood between them. So let's continue with the third element. And I mentioned it a little bit. The lines, as you can see. Muslim, when they pray collectively, they stand together according to these lines, shoulder by shoulder, and pray together. And as I said before, these elements are you can find these elements in every mosque. Therefore, I am explaining you these elements. And the last element is calligraphies. You will see many Arabic scriptures. Some of them are verses from Quran. Some of them are important subjects in Islam, such as Uthman, the collector of Quran, the person who made Quran turned Quran into a book. Before Uthman, Quran was shared with words, not by papers. And Uthman collected all of those words and made it a book.
Ah, okay.
The other person is, for example, Ali, one of the first people who converted to Islam. And you will see, maybe, I mean,
Kind of hard.
maybe some people analyze what is written there. In the left side, it is written Muhammad, the last prophet, and on the right side, it is written Allah,
Okay.
the God.
Muhammad, the most important prophet.
Yeah.
And then God, Allah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you realize, you won't see any pictures in mosques, opposite way of churches, because it is forbidden to image God, because Muslim people believe that God is limitless, God is beyond material, God is beyond structures. Therefore, it is forbidden to image or think God as a human being. So they believe it is beyond materials. It is beyond this world.
Because no image would do it justice.
Yeah.
They can never have an image good enough to
Yeah.
represent. Okay.
Yeah. That's the idea. this song is very special for me because the architecture of this building is Mimar Sinan, and you will see many details that you should pre-work, you should pre-study before you visit, and I will explain you as far as I know. You will see eggs around the lamps. You know it looks weird, right? This one is egg.
Oh, egg. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, this one is egg.
Why are there eggs?
Yeah, why? Because in that
Earth.
age, no.
Okay.
It is a unique egg that prevents spiders. In that age, you don't have some technology to prevent like gas. You don't have gases that prevent spiders. Therefore, they put eggs around the lamps to prevent spider webs.
How interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I would have never thought I would hear about an egg preventing spider webs in a mosque. It's super interesting stuff.
And also, as you can see, you are not going to see any air conditioner in this place because Mimar Sinan designed this place without need of air condition. We can see right now, but in the walls there are micro holes
Holes. Okay.
that provides a good air in this place. He is genius. He is completely genius. He is beyond his age. I mean, Mimar Sinan, in my opinion.
It's funny because I've been traveling around Turkey, seeing historic sites, and the older the site, typically, not always, but the older the site, especially around the 1500s, 1400s, 1300s, 1700s, the architecture is so good.
Yeah.
And as we get into the modern day age, it's not as nice. It always gets worse, it seems.
I completely agree. I forgot to mention one detail. I've talked about mihrab, the place that Imam stand up and leads the prayer, and you will see a green scripture, right? Yellow scripture on a green table.
Yep.
Upside of the mihrab. It is from Quran, which is about Mary, the Virgin. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Christians don't think Muslim people believe in Jesus and his miracles, also Mary and her miracles, but they take it so seriously. They put that verse, like the most important verse, upside of the mihrab to make people see that.
Yeah, because that's dead center. That's one of the most important places.
Yeah, it is one of the most important places, and they chose that verse because it is not religion of Muhammad. It is not Christianity or Judaism. It is not Mohammedism. It is Islam. And also, one of the verses in Quran says, we don't compare prophets one to another. They don't see any difference. Jesus is the same. Muhammad is the same. They treat them equally.
So because I was reading that at the Blue Mosque on an information thing that they treat him equally, but so what is Muhammad considered? Because he's different, right, than the rest. So he's the same but different, or how does that work?
In Quran, it is said that each society had its prophet. Every society had prophets throughout history. But one day, Muhammad was sent to gather all of the messages, because Muslim people believe that there is one message, one God, and there are many prophets to deliver this message. And Muhammad is considered as the final prophet to gather all the messages into one book.
Okay.
Therefore, they don't deny Bible. Muslim people, it is also one of the requirements to be Muslim. You have to believe in Bible. But they believe Bible wasn't protected enough.
Yep.
That's the difference. That's the only difference. But you will see many similarities between these sacred religions.
Yeah, so what you're saying is the importance of Jesus as one of the prophet.
Yeah, completely.
And the Bible, which I think you call the Gospels maybe, but we also call Gospels sometimes.
Not 100%ly, but Muslim people believe that there are some parts that is not originally from Bible. That's the main difference between Christianity and Islam.
Because some people believe, in Muslim, they believe the Bible was tampered with, like edited, or some things taken out, some things put in. Because some Christians actually think the same thing. Maybe not mainstream, like mainstream Christians, but also you were talking about, just want to reiterate the importance of Mary. And Mary is the most talked about person in the Quran, is that true?
Mary is the most mentioned person in Quran, even more than Prophet Muhammad.
That's crazy to me.
And also there is a special chapter for Mary, chapter of Mary, you will see that. But there is no chapter of Muhammad.
Why do you think that is?
Because, I don't understand, I can't claim that I know everything. But it is my opinion. God told us many stories in Quran, also in the Bible, to deliver messages. And stories of Mary was so meaningful. And also this verse is about one of her miracles about the food. Maybe most of the people don't know that, but in Christianity, as far as I know, this miracle is mentioned too. One of the religious people also, it is considered as prophet in Islam, Zechariah, found Mary, I'm translating right now the miracle, found Mary with fruits, and asked Mary, how did you find it? And she answered, it is a blessing from God.
The first time, I'm from a small town, and we grew up Christian, but it's, I don't want to speak on everyone there, but it wasn't like I wasn't taught a lot of the history. It's just read the Bible, read the Bible, read the Bible. And when I found out that Jesus was a prophet in Islam, like probably 22 to, I don't know, your age probably, it blew my mind. I was like, what? Why didn't no one tell me this? Because at the time it was during the Iraq War, so 2003, I think. And I was thinking, on the news, they don't mention, we're so separate. But then you say, wait, because Judaism Jesus is just a guy, like a good guy, but just a guy. But Islam and Christianity actually have more in common on the identity of Jesus than Jews and Christians, which is interesting to me, very interesting.
Because Islam consider prophet Jesus as a prophet too. So there must be relations. So it is not something surpriseful for us. Too many misunderstandings in Europe and USA too. One of my Russian friends came to me and asked if it is a good deed to kill Orthodox, and I said, what? In Islam, he's asking if it is a good deed to kill an Orthodox in Islam.
For Muslims to kill Orthodox, this Russian Orthodox church.
And I said, bro, what are you talking about? I know there is a huge misunderstanding because of Islamophobia, because of media, in my opinion, but Islam is translated as peace. Do you know that?
Yes, I have heard this.
There are many meanings. One of them is submission to God, and the other one is peace. Like, you can ever imagine how peace is important in Islam. One of the verse is saying, if you see troublesome person, just walk away. Don't
argue.
Don't argue with that guy. Just say salam and go away. That's worse.
And I think it's like media is only concentrating on a small percentage of people that are very extreme, and Christianity, Judaism, they all have it.
And I've seen many foreigners who visit Turkey and were shocked how Turkey is really is. It is not as it is shown in media.
Yeah, maybe people think, it's a desert and they're riding camels.
If you have desert, I will give you $1,000. It is something you can find not in Istanbul, in Turkey.
It's mountains and snow.
You traveled a lot.
I traveled in the snow most of the time. But it's also like, I think if you visit, especially Istanbul, Turkey's great all around, but if you visit Istanbul, I met so many people that have come here on vacation and then they've lived here for 8 years, 5 years because they don't want to leave because it's such a powerful and modern place, very modern, old and it has the old and new combined. It's great,
exactly.
and east and west. It's emerging.
Completely. You can see on your left side Hagia Sophia while you look at Sultan Ahmet, and that's blessing from God. I mean, that's something so important we should protect in Istanbul. I hope we will protect that.
Protect the
I mean, legacy from the old cultures.
Yeah.
You know, European law system is based on Roman law.
Yeah.
And that Roman law was written in Istanbul.
Yeah, because when the Romans were in charge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even the origins of the Europe is related to Istanbul. Yeah, I mean, it is so important country in my opinion, Turkey, for everyone. If you are an Eastern, you should come here to understand what Western philosopher says. If you are a Western, you should definitely come here to break the walls that is built in Europe.
Yeah, and I also think Turkey is important religiously for all religions, but also important because historic. Like Gobekli Tepe, Karan Tepe are some of the oldest now religious sites that they ever found.
You visited Gobekli Tepe?
Yes.
And I'm sure you know how important it is for human history. But no one knows that.
No one knows that, and actually there'll be a video up here. Gobekli Tepe changes, kind of off subject here, but changes what we thought. We thought hunters and gatherers. Once they settled in cities and had labor, they had free time, so they created philosophy, religion, science, algebra, maybe, all this stuff. Well, now at Gobekli Tepe, maybe religion was always there.
Maybe
we don't know.
We can't claim 100%. That's one of my motto in my life. I don't say one thing is a fact. Every time there is a possibility to be false for everything. Everything can be false, in my opinion.
Yes, and we really don't know because we weren't there, but when you see these structures and the engravings, and they're set up in a similar area, it seems religious, but maybe it's to the stars, who knows, but that's the main reason I came to Turkey, was Gobekli Tepe. I said, I have to see this. And Ramadan, probably best you explain it, is...
Okay, Ramadan is a special month for Muslims that they fast without water or any food 30 days in a row. They believe revelation of Quran started in this month, therefore they consider this month more sacred than the other months.
Okay.
Therefore they fast 30 days, and it is one of the pillars of Islam, so it is a requirement for each Muslim to fast in this month.
And so I think the West has a bad idea of Islam, especially the United States, my country.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting better, but I think during the media, sometimes there's propaganda that, they're bad people because it's such a Christian. But in fact, reading about Islam and learning about Islam, there's a whole different side that's not being represented well.
Exactly.
Do you experience that in Turkey as well, or no?
No, because when I met with you, I told you Turkey is a mix of cultures. We can understand what West says, philosophy of Western philosophers, and also Eastern philosophers. Also, we can absorb the ideas of cultures in Turkey, in my opinion. That's the best part of Turkey, in my opinion. But the situation is worse in Europe, I guess. The Islamophobia is fed more than in USA, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have many friends who immigrated there, and they suffer a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah, mostly in France.
France. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so, yes. Yes.
But there are more. There are some countries that are more tolerant than other countries, such as France.
You were saying about Istanbul, you get the best of both worlds. You get East and West.
Yeah.
The philosophers, the Greek philosophers,
Yeah.
the Ottomans, and most people, don't know that. Like Muslim culture is why we have algebra,
Yeah.
geometry, so many things, right? So many things have been invented by the algebra culture and documented, and that most of society's
Algebra
science.
is actually Arabic word.
Now, with the importance of like mathematics and geometry and Islam, obviously that's put into the buildings. How important is that? Is it a spiritual thing? Is it just a beauty thing? Is it both?
I guess both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Because when you see it, you can tell there's so much math going on.
Yeah.
And obviously.
The other thing that we miss as world, I'm not going to specially say a country or a region, but we mostly miss how Muslims were good at philosophy. Maybe you haven't heard that, but they were so interested in Aristo. They were considering Aristo as the first teacher. Maybe most of the people suppose that Islam forbids philosophy or criticism, but that's completely wrong. There are important philosophers that you can ever imagine, such as Ibn Rushd. Ibn Rushd is known as Averroes in Europe. And do you know the famous work of Raphael, Athens School? It was a painting. It was full of philosophers, important philosophers, and one of them was Averroes too. Averroes, Ibn Rushd.
Aristotle is considered number one
Philosopher in Islam.
What are some famous Muslim philosophers that?
We can start with, as I told you before, Aristo was the first scholar, known as the first scholar. First scholar was Aristo, and the second one was Farabi, who was really into Aristo and write so many glissators. Do you know what glossator means?
No.
It is actually can be translated as explanation. So the
Like a transcribing or something.
yeah, transcribing. Reading of Aristo was very hard. Therefore, many of the Islamic philosophers tried to explain what he said. When you read that first time, you might think that these are so bad ideas in Islam, but they try to explain it how relatable Aristo with Islam.
Much better.
Oh, now I get it. Yes, I see now. Sorry, I ruined your picture.
Sorry, I ruined yours.
We're even. Now, where are we at now? This is
the inside of, not inside of the mosque. It is called as avlu, but I don't know how to translate it in English.
okay.
In Friday prayings,
Wow.
all of inside of the mosque is completely becomes full. Therefore, people just use rugs, prayer rugs, and pray here too, right here.
I see. Wow, this is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And then these towers, I forget the word.
It is minare.
Minare.
Yeah.
And that's where the speakers are for the prayer.
Yeah, before the invention of
Yeah.
microphone or speakers, they had to call people. But how were they able to do that? So they built minares like that, and Imam 5 times in a day used to go upside and call prayers to praying.
How many minares are there?
Actually, one is enough, but number of minare represents power of the mosque in Ottoman.
Okay.
Therefore, they built 4, but as far as I know, there are 6 in Blue Mosque.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe after 50 years we will see
12 or something.
yeah, I don't know.
Competition.
Yeah.
I just said goodbye to Newman. Awesome guy, just an awesome guy. Going to be a lawyer one day, very intelligent, helpful, very helpful, and just has a passion for religion and sharing it. And also Fatih, who's a volunteer here at the mosque, and yeah, just amazing guys, amazing experience. And kind of the experience in Turkey is most people are so friendly, and then Muslim people are so friendly, and they get such a bad rap in the media, especially in the West. You know, it's I mean, most religious people are always so friendly. I don't know why sometimes Muslim people get a bad rap, but I think it's competition, but they're so friendly, so helpful. I mean, taking time out of their day to meet, don't ask for nothing in return. I even asked if they could donate to the mosque, and they said, sure, not really, like the government takes care of it. There's a fund to refurbish and everything. But just absolutely amazing people. I learned so much. I mean, from Mary having her own section or chapter of the Quran to her being mentioned the most, even more than Muhammad in the Quran. Who'd have guessed that? Some stuff I knew, like Jesus is a prophet. You know, they do differ in some things, like the Trinity and stuff like that. But even the eggs, they had the ostrich eggs they used to put in mosques to keep from the spider webs. And now they have a fake egg as a representation of that. Just cool stuff like that. The balcony where the sultans would kind of hide from the rest of the people because of assassination attempts. And the entrance is only on the outside. You can't enter. There's no steps to go up there. So just very educational. I hoped maybe some of you people that don't know a lot about Islam, including myself, you learned with me. Because like most world religions, it's a special religion and has a beautiful mosque, and Islam and the Muslim people have contributed so much to the world. Algebra, I think geometry, and even science stuff. I even read something about vaccines even. So just, yeah, it's super interesting to see what people donate in the positive sides of religion and stuff like that, instead of just the negative. It's great, man. Thanks so much. Fatih, I'm hoping I'm not butchering his name, was saying that like, kind of like, sorry, my hair is going crazy. I'm not used to this.